Yo, what is up, everyone? My name is Dom, and we're going to talk about unusual options activity. Alright, so let's start off right with the disclaimer here. Disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes only. The statements made in this program here are solely the opinion of the show and are not a specific inducement to make an investment. One must perform their own due diligence and realize that all investments carry risk. There's no guarantee of profit. Alright, everyone. First one I want to bring up is SPWR. This is SunPower. This is a solar stock. And on this channel, we have been all over these solar stocks, and they have made us some immense profits. I think there's more room to run in some of these names. So let's check this one out. This is SunPower. Alright, now as you can see here, we have a position these September 17th. So this year, going out to September, giving ourselves plenty of time. And we have a position in these 50 strike calls. Now, if I go up here, we were able to pick these ones out because there was some nice volume here, so we were able to pick up that, there was some unusual volume here, unusual activity. And also, mind you, these options expire today, so I don't know why people would be buying those January 22nd. Today is January 22nd, so those options expired out of the money, those people lost. But they were also buying these. There's some nice volume here in these January 29ths expiring next week. But first thing I always do is drop down this time and sales here. And you can see right here, somebody got 600 of these September 17th 50 strike calls for $1,050 each. That's about a $600,000 order. That is huge. And there was more buying in this one too, and some other strikes. I believe the January 2022 I saw, but I went with the September 17th 50 strike call, and we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the chart. So as with all these solar stocks, these things have been ripping higher. This thing was at about $10 pre-pandemic, dropped down to about $4, and I think this, where my cursor is, this time was when it started coming out that maybe the Democrats were going to win the presidency. So when that started coming out, these stocks just started exploding to the upside, and like I always say, there's volatility to the upside and to the downside as well. So these stocks don't always go up. You got to be, mentally prepare yourself for some bad days with these stocks. And but yeah, the trajectory here is obviously up. The momentum is continuing. I think there's more room to run in this one. So we're in these calls, and we will see what happens. All right, next one is Snap. So if you come down here, I can't remember if I brought this one up before, but I think I did. We were in the January 2023 50 strike calls, and those calls worked out great. I can't remember when I brought that up or if I brought that up on this channel. But as you can see right here, January 2023 Snap stock is trading at 53. Somebody, there was a lot of buying here. Look at all this volume. 10,820 contracts traded. Open interest 3,500. I like that. I like that volume to open interest ratio. And this is kind of a cheap bet, and we're going all the way out to 2023. These options are about $820 each if you buy it at the midpoint. And all you got to do is just open up this time and sales here. And this really caught my eye because somebody came in here and bought about 5,000 of these February 70 strike calls. Mind you, this is January 22nd. The stock is trading at $53.50. Somebody came in and bought these February 70 strike calls. Now, for this option to be worth anything on February 19th, the stock has to be above $70. If the stock makes a nice move in a couple weeks, these options will move up. But just that's a good way of thinking about these things. If you're going to hold this option until expiration, and you're buying if you're buying a 70 call on expiration, this stock has to be above $70 to be worth anything. The option has to be in the money on expiration to be worth anything. Because remember, a call option gives you the right to buy the stock at the strike price. So if on February 19th Snap closes at $75, this option contract right here on expiration is going to be worth $5 because if the stock's at $75, this option gives you the right to buy it at $70. So there's a $5 spread there between the stock price at $75 and your call option, a 70 strike. Call options give you the right to buy the stock at your strike. So that's also a useful metric to just look at this and be like, that is so far out of the money. Snap has to make like a 30% move. It has to be above 70 on expiration for this option to be worth anything. And this is like a $500,000 order, little over $500,000. Somebody came in again and bought 2,700 of these things. February 70 strike call. That is so far out of the money. I would never buy that for this short term of an option contract. You know, going out to 20, and then here's these 2023 orders, almost 3,600 of these things at $8.50 each. That's over $1 million order. So, you know, I don't know what's going on here, if there's going to be something coming out about Snap. I've been on this trade for a while. I brought this trade up on this channel before. Like I said, we were in these January 2023 calls, January 2023 50 strike calls. So we had a nice profit in those. I sold out of those ones today, and I just rolled up to these January 2023 80 strike calls. Now, you might be sitting there saying, well, you just did this big explanation about how the 70 strike is far out of the money. But look at the date here, people. So that's a February 19th 70 strike call. The stock has to make that kind of move by February 19th. It is January 22nd. That's about 3 weeks. You know, when I'm going out to 2022, 2023, even like that last one out in September 2021, you know, 5, 6, 7, 1 year, 2 year, 5, 6, 7 months, 1 year, 2 year. You know, I don't mind going, you know, far out of the money, especially if, you know, there's these huge orders, $1 million, another $1 million order. And there's just a whole bunch of buying in this one. I mean, it's actually insane. Buying a February 70 call. Whenever you see somebody buying a short-term option like that and really far out of the money, you know, they could be buying that because maybe they know something about some news coming out. You know, we'll never know. But that's why we follow unusual options activity, because you can find trades like that and you can get in before the herd, before everybody else does, before the big news comes out. That doesn't happen a lot. You know, sometimes you'll find a trade, get into it, like that Alexian one we had a while ago. You know, they announced a merger the next day, and you know, those calls went up like 900%. I will link that video if you guys haven't seen that one, and I talk about the description of that. But I think this is a good one, so I wanted to bring it up on this channel. We've been on Snap for a while, since before their earnings. Here, we'll pull up the chart. We've been on Snap for a while now, ever since like the middle of October. You know, they had this huge run up after great earnings, and we've just been on it ever since. The hedge funds, the big traders, institutional traders have been buying, and there's no shortage of buying today. So we're in these calls, and we will see what happens, everyone. Thanks to everyone who's been subscribing. I really appreciate it. Make sure to leave comments down below if you guys got questions. Trying to think if there's anything else. Make sure to leave a like. Always remember that I'm here to tell you guys what I do, why it works for me, and hopefully you guys can learn from it. I'm not here to tell you guys what to do. And always make sure that, you know, you're putting the time in, putting the work in. Options are really confusing when you're first starting it, and I lost a lot of money because I started trading options too early, and you know, I didn't know the basics, didn't know the basic things. You know, you have to start. I started small and just kind of learned what worked for me. You know, with just, you know, jumping into this, not knowing what works for you, and you know, putting money down on this stuff. You know, just every time I invest, you know, I can afford to lose it. So you know, it's like, don't be going in putting, you know, all this money down when you don't really know what you're doing. That's just my opinion. That's what I've done in the past, and you know, I've learned from my mistakes. So sorry for kind of the rant in this video. Just trying to bring you guys some trades and also bring some educational information in this as well. You know, so there's more substance to it. Thanks to everyone who's been subscribing. Have a good weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday.